Thank you for choosing Fasten DTS Series Multifunctional Waste Oil Decolorization and Regeneration Equipment AIO. Fasten DTS Multifunctional Decolorization and Purification Equipment AIO is one of our self-developed, which is suitable for recycling of all kinds of waste lubricating oil. This equipment adopts pure physical bridging flocculation working principle, which is able to restore the physiochemical index and cleanness of waste oil to meet the national standard. You will save a lot of cost by using our equipment. Plate frame filtration system. Separation tank. Reaction still. Filtration tank. DTS Multifunctional Waste Oil Purification and Regeneration Equipment. 1. Operation steps. 1. First step. Check the vacuum degree before the oil intake. Connect machine with the power source in customized voltage 415 volt, 380 volt, 220 volt. Turn on the main power. Power indicator will be on. Make sure all valves are turned off before turning on valve number 3. Start the vacuum pump. While the vacuum degree reaches over minus 0.04 megapascal, turn on the valve number 1 and number 2. 2. Second step. Pump the oil into the reaction still. While the discovery of waste oil from the side glass of a separation tank, start the gear pump. While the discovery of oil in the bottom of the upper oil level indicator on reaction still, turn off valve number 1 and keep valve number 4 half open. In the meantime, turn on the vent valve and side glass on the top of the reaction still. Set the temperature on the control cabinet for separation tank as 100 degree and reaction still as 90 degree. Then start separation tank and reaction still. At this moment, the waste oil will be circulating, separating and purifying between separation tank and reaction still repeatedly. Third step. Heat cycling, separating, degassing and dehydration until purification is completed. While the circulation and dehydration takes place, if the water level is exceeded in the middle range, 1 second part of liquid level indicator on condenser, please turn off vacuum pump and gear pump first. Then turn off separation tank and reactions still. Wait until vacuum is back to 0 degree. Then open the drain valve at the bottom of the condenser to drain out the water until there is no water can be seen in liquid level indicator. Turn off drain valve to stop draining process. After draining process is done, please restart the vacuum pump and gear pump. Turn on the separation tank and reaction still. While the vacuum degree is exceeded minus 0.08 megapascal. In the meanwhile, there is no water or steam can be found from transparent hose which connects the separation tank and condenser for a while. Please turn off the separation tank and reaction still. Precautions: if there is too much oil in the reaction still at this moment, turn on valve number 9 and turn off valve number 3. Transfer some of this oil from reaction still into the filtration tank until the oil level drops down to the bottom of upper liquid level indicator of reaction still. Then stop oil transferring, turn on valve number 3 and turn off valve number 9. Fourth step. Flocculating and blending. Turn off the vent valve and side glass on the top of the reaction still. Stop the gear pump. Then turn off valve number 2 and number 4. Turn on the valve number 5 and wait until vacuum is raised up to -0.06 megapascal. Turn on valve number 8 to add flocculant. Precautions: make sure the cover of reaction steel is well sealed. Turn on valve number 7 and wait until vacuum degree reaches up to -0.05 megapascal. Then turn on valve number 8. After adding up the flocculant, please turn off valve number 8 immediately. Precautions: try to control the valve number 8 to be on-off according to the flow speed of the flocculant while adding up the flocculant. In most cases, it can be turned on/off every 3 seconds. Use the stick to stir the flocculant down to the bottom of additive box, and then turn on/off the valve number 8 repeatedly until flocculant is all taken into reaction steel. After adding, the oil level in reaction steel will be raised up rapidly. At this moment, if some of those oil overflows into the separation tank, please turn on valve number 2 and number 3, and then start gear pump to transfer the oil back into the reaction steel. Then turn off the gear pump and valve number 2. Turn on the backwash system. Then turn on number 2 air cock. Keep blending and flocculating process with 10 to 60 seconds. Then turn off number 2 air cock and backwash. Turn on valve number 6 and number 3. Start up turbine pump. Set the temperature for the reaction steel between 100 Celsius to 180 Celsius depending on different kind of oil. Turn on reaction steel to start up the blending and dehydration process. During the process of circulating and blending, please turn on the backwash in every 3 minutes and turn on number 2 air cock and keep it on for 10 to 60 seconds. Then turn off number 2 air cock before turning off backwash. This process needs to be repeated for several times if necessary. While there is no water or steam can be found from transparent hose which connects the separation tank and condenser for a while. Then please turn off turbine pump before turning off valve number 3. Take turns to stop the reaction steel and vacuum pump. Turns on valve number 6, number 9, and number 10. Then turn on turbine pump to filtrate the oil in circulation. Fifth step: oil discharging. 1 to 3 minutes later, while the oil in glass tubes, which are next to the bottom of a filtration tank, gets clear and transparent, please turn on valve number 11 and turn off valve number 10. The purified oil will go through valve number 11 and then to be pumped into storage tank. Precautions: before oil discharging process, please tighten up the cover of the filtration tank and to make sure the draining butterfly valve is well closed. The point of this butterfly valve has to be pointed to closed, and to be sure that the pressure of the filtration tank is less than 0.3 megapascal. Please turn on the valve number 10 and turn off number 11 to replace oil barrel while the previous barrel is full. After that, please turn on valve number 11 and turn off valve number 10. While the pressure of a filtration tank is dropping until 0, take turns to stop turbine pump and turn off valve number 9, then turn off valve number 5, number 6, and number 7. Turn on the backwash button before turning on number 4 air cock to blow leftover oil out. Turn off valve number 11. Turn on valve number 9 and number 3. Let the compressed air to blow out the contaminated oil back to the reaction steel. You can turn on valve number 9 and number 12. Then turn off valve number 3 alternatively to blow the oil out into the storage tank. Recover all the valves and buttons back to initial status after this process is done. After the oil is removed, turn off number 4 air cock before turning off backwash. Turn on the butterfly valve. Intermittently turn on/off the discharging button in every 3 seconds to discharge the residue until removal of all oil sludge. Usually this process takes about 1 minute. After completing, please turn off the butterfly valve immediately. Shut down the main power after whole process is completed. Maintenance and troubleshooting. 1. If no response after pressing heating button of reaction steel, take off the cover and back of reaction steel to check if the floating ball gets stuck. 2. While the turbine pump cannot be started, check if there is any blockage in the pipelines. If so, try to turn on air cock to blow it out. Check if the pressure of the filtration tank is out of limit. If so, please turn on number 10 air cock to release the pressure. 3. In case of the vacuum degree rises up slowly or cannot be raised up at all, and there is no sign on pressure gauge, check the joint of a vacuum meter and a pressure gauge. And please check if any blockage inside the air filter cleaner located between the vacuum pump and condenser. The air filter cleaner needs to be cleaned up regularly. Please replace vacuum meter if none of above problems has been found. 4. While vacuum degree is out of limit, and the flocculant cannot get into hose, please check if any blockage inside the pipelines. If so, take off the hose and remove the flocculant with wire and then put it back on. 5. In case of the oil is coming out slowly while discharging, please check if too much sludge attached on filter plate. If so, please open the top cover and take out the filter plates to clean it up and then put it back in. While putting those filter plates back into filtration tank, please make sure the filter plates are installed into the initial position. 6. While too much oil inside the suppression tank and gear pump is not able to transfer the oil back into the reaction steel, the gears of a gear pump might be worn out. Please replace the gears or gear pump accordingly. If this problem is happened in a short period after purchasing of the machine, it may be caused by oil with flocculant overflows into suppression tank from reaction steel. To avoid this problem from happening, please follow the instructions as below. 1. Make sure the flocculant is dry enough before using. 2. Keep the oil level in reaction steel at the bottom of upper liquid level indicator. 3. Make sure the moisture is completely removed in previous circulation process. 4. Follow the exact orders of instructions for turning on/off valves, especially when vacuum is on or not released thoroughly. In case of the water in the condenser flows back into separation tank to pollute the purified oil. 7. The valve at the bottom of plate frame filtration system is a draining valve. It is designed to avoid the oil overflows onto ground while overpressure happened inside the plate frame filtration system as the filter paper is blocked and the internal pressure is increased. 8. If the machine cannot be started, it might be caused by phase lagging. This could be caused by starting gear pump incorrectly before turning on valve number 2 and number 3, or the front part of outlet of pump is controlled by pressure controllers. Therefore, please turn on valve number 2 and number 3 and adjust the screw nut of the pressure controller to the maximum number. Start the gear pump once again and then turn the pressure of a pressure controller back to 0.3 megapascal. 9. Clean up filter plates with kerosene or diesel if too much oil on the surface. 10. Replace the specified lubricating oil for vacuum pump regularly. If no specified oil, it can be replaced with number 46 lube oil when the air temperature is below 10 Celsius. Or use the number 68 lube oil instead when the air temperature is above 30 Celsius. Filling the new lube oil until it gets up to middle level of a side hole before draining old oil out. The frequency of replacement depends on the oil emulsified status. Usually it should be replaced once a week. But if the loop oil is heavily emulsified, it should be replaced once a day. 11. Please ensure the valve number 5 is closed to avoid the pipelines being frozen and blocked when the temperature is too low. If so, please heat in the oil and turn on the backwash. Turn on number 5 air cock to start backwash process before starting turbine pump.